And we're live. Thought I'd do a live just to talk about the game tomorrow. Let's see if the video started. Yes, it has. And there's a few folk online, 14 online. That'll build up, surely. Um, so what do you think about the game tomorrow? First of all, let's skip that advert. Pork chop is in the house. Perfect. Back to that. I'm going for 2-1 tomorrow. It is an unplanned live, but there was a thing that I wanted to speak about. And obviously tomorrow, how's the sound? Is the sound okay? Just checking the sound's okay. How's the sound, Tam? Right, I think our biggest asset tomorrow, we're going to set up. Nat Phillips must start, of course. Of course he must start. Let me just change that way. 3-1 to Celtic. I think tomorrow our biggest asset is going to be the space that we're going to get from them. And it's paramount that we score first, because if we score first, that'll stop them from sitting back. And I think if we score first, they'll have to come forward, and that'll open up spaces for us. We're going to play a front three tomorrow as normal. And as long as Kyogo plays off the back of the defenders and doesn't come back into the midfield, which I don't think he will, because if we're going to put Paulo into the team, it should push Kyogo up. It should just push him up. The defence, do we have confidence in the defence? I think since we've brought in Phillips, I think he'll steady the ship. Liam Scholes at left back. No, I'll give you my team in a minute. What I think the team might be now that everything's settled down after the excitement of the transfer window and the Champions League draw. Let's face it, the best video that I've ever done was probably the live of the Champions League draw. I think we have to score 3 tomorrow to win. I mean, I'm saying 2-1, but when you think about it, we need to score 3 just to make sure that it's 3-1 Rangers penalty, of course. If Kyogo gets back to playing off the back of defenders as usual, we'll get the goals. Of course we will. And let me just do some banners. I'll put up the draw again. Everybody knows what the draw is by now anyway. It was good to get that video up this morning. I'll use that one actually. Super chat to get noticed. Let's get some of the comments. 8-0. 8-0. James Walsh says, hi Baz, tomorrow will take care of itself. It will. The defence isn't as solid as it could be, but it's enough to get by tomorrow. I think that's one of the things that we've been worrying about. And I think bringing Phillips in, and that was a Brendan Rodgers masterstroke, getting him in. There's still a lot of people that are not too enamoured that he's back, but he is, so we need to get on with it. Bernardo should play. Don't know if Rodgers will play him. Great young talent. Yes, I'm going to talk about him in a minute, actually, because his old boss has been talking about him. Right, my team for tomorrow. It's going to be Hart, Taylor, Phillips, Gustav, Alistair Johnson. Going to have Kalmak and then Paulo Bernardo sitting in the midfield with him, with Palmer, O'Reilly and Abada. And O'Reilly's going to have that floating role, and then Kyogo up front. What do you think of that? That's going to be my team tomorrow. I think that getting Phillips in with Gustav, that'll keep him really steady. I think Bernardo should play, but don't know if Rodgers will play. I think he will play. Alistair Johnson's so good. Alistair Johnson, he'll be right up for this game. He knows what it's like to win in these games. He knows what it's like. So we've got players there that have been and done it before. It's not so much a new team. Abada's done it before. O'Reilly's done it before. Kyogo's done it before. Kalmak's done it many, many years before. Hart's done it before. Alistair Johnson's done it before. And Taylor's done it before. We're going to have 6 first-team players that know how to win at Ibrox. Sorry, Mr. Champions League. Watch along, Baz. I've put 2-1 on the hoops and 9-1 and 3-1 the hoops at 18-1. And with a shout of that, I'd go with the 2-1. Do you think Maida will start? No, I don't think he will. I think he'll go with Palmer and Abada. It's just a feeling I've got. And the fact that I don't think you've seen him training, but you don't want to risk him in a game if he's not 100%. I'm sure Cant will do more diving than the famous Fresh Ocean Explorer. Oh dear, he will. And he'll try and noise players up. And the players the younger players in the squad, Kalmack and Phillips, have to be on top of that. Have to be on top that, this guy will try and wind the Celtic players up. It doesn't matter. 4-2-3-1. Hart, Alistair Johnson, Lagerboy, Phillips, Taylor, McGregor, Awata. Interesting one. Abada, Bernabé, Yang, and Kyogo. Interesting team. It's a bit different from mine. I went with Kyogo up front, and then just behind them, you're sitting with Palmer, O'Reilly, and Abada, Bernardo, Kalmack, and then Taylor, Phillips. I mean, the back four speaks for itself. That's the strongest back four that we've got tomorrow. What makes it interesting is, no matter what happens tomorrow, going forward, we do have the international break coming up. I think Yang deserves a start. Yeah, I think he probably does. But we need to bring something in that's a bit special tomorrow. A bit special. But to be honest, I see there are a section of Celtic fans that hate Rodgers. I want him to fail. Yep. They say that they sold the brick in the bus. Let's be honest. He's the best manager for Celtic right now. Who is the best manager? Listen, see, when I said this on one of the Facebook pages today, somebody was slating Rodgers, and there was quite a few, and I was like, is the best man that, out of the candidates that we had, when you see overall, he was the best candidate that could have come in to keep a steady ship going. Now, Brendan spoke about this fanciful thing that when he came in, there was people speaking about the fact that Celtic were going to spend 15 to 20 million on a player. And Rodgers has said, look, that talk wasn't coming in for the club. There was nothing coming for the club saying that. Nobody inside the club was saying, maybe Ange Postecoglou maybe talked about it, and he didn't. And, he said that you have to look at it as a perspective. You can buy, and we all know what Ange said. And I think that, yeah, he's new to the team and without any baggage. Old firm died, mate. Sorry, just thought I'd put that out there. You'll never get me saying that on this channel. So, yes, it's the Glasgow Derby tomorrow. And he doesn't come with any baggage, and he's got pace, right? But getting back to the manager, right? The return of Brendan Rodgers has been a strange one, let's face it, right? Because we sold one of our best players pretty much as soon as he got back in the door, right? And everyone thought that it would be an easy transition. We had a winning team, a winning formula. We had a winning starting 11. Squad-wise, it turns out it's not been as good as what we maybe thought, right? You only need to look back to the last game in last season when we changed the team a lot to see that, the players that were there didn't do it. When we got beat 3-0. And that was coming. That was coming for them because they'd worked out how to play Ange's team. They'd worked out. The fact that we sold Jota, the Champions League money was already secured, right? So we knew we were going to get 30 odd million from the Champions League. It was suggested that we were going to spend 30 million, right? There was a lot of people were saying in the media and everything saying that going into the last week of the window, the squad with the first team was actually weaker than it was last season, which it was when you take out Jota and you take out Aaron Moy and you take out Carl Starfelt. Any team, right? And even Hatate been injured and Cameron Carter-Vickers been injured. There's 5 players out of the team for the last season that were down. That's 5 first-team players. And people are expecting us to achieve the exact same as we did last year. 5 players out of our first team that did so much for us last year haven't been there this year. There's only Carter-Vickers that is going to come back, and Alistair Johnson's came back. The fact that we've lost so many, we've lost the heart of that team. So we need to stop. We need to get behind the manager, and he doesn't have any leeway at all. Brendan even says, when I first arrived, there was a story written, says that we're going for 10 to 15 million pound players. He says that story was created outside the club It says it wasn't created by myself. The club has a model that's been sustainable, and they'll work to that model. Right? This is what Brendan Rodgers said. He said it's proven to be successful over the last 10 years, which it has. Right? We can't deny it. The Celtic model, it's a good model, and it makes us money, and it makes sure that we're never going to go down the road of the old Rangers and die due to not paying our taxes. He then went on to say, in his defence, he says, Celtic were uninspiring through later stages of last season. He says, even when they got the silverware, with over 180 minutes against Kilmarnock and St Johnstone, the first team budgets, he says, when you look back to last season, and people have said on here, people have said that, look, Celtic didn't kick a ball from March onwards. As soon as we won the league, it was like the down tools. So it's done. It's done. Podence was meant to have went to Saudi for $5 million to. You can't. We've got in a player that's probably going to make us more money, and that's the way that Celtic play the game, unfortunately. Anyway, the transfer window's over and done. We need to get on. We can't look back at now at players that we missed out on. We did enough of that last night. I mean, we spoke about the players that we could have, should have, could have had. And the fact that we didn't get the players is disappointing. But now it's time to get back down to business. Time to get back down to business and, do our talking on the pitch. And I'm glad that the Celtic players, well, there was one player that done his talking off the pitch and he got sent down to Stoke. Billy, he said, Hart, Phillips, Gustav, Johnson, Taylor, Kalmack, O'Reilly, Bernardo, Palmer, Abada, Kyogo. That's the team I went for. It's the strongest team I think that we've got right now. And I think it's got a lot of things. It's got a lot of pace about it. Matt O'Reilly, he'll do that box-to-box thing that he's been doing the last couple of games that people haven't been giving him credit for. Palmer is going to just annihilate them on the wing. Abada, the other wing. Kyogo up front. If he's running off the back of the defenders, that'll put the fear of death into them again. They'll try and knock him off the ball. They'll do what they do every game. They'll try and make runs into him. When they see him try to turn, they'll shoulder charge him. It's gonna happen. Should Maida start or Palmer? Palmer for me. Dyson hasn't done enough the last couple of games. When you see that shot that he tried last weekend, when you see that shot, and Dyson come in, and you're at home, James Forrest could do it with a tee. He could come in for the wing and hit a ball from outside of the box, and it would hit the back of the net or hit the target. Dyson hit the Green Brigade from outside the box, right in front of the goals. He hit it into the Green Brigade. For that alone, he should not start, because there's something just not clicking with Dyson, whether it's this love that he's got for Ange Ball that we no longer play, and he's all of a sudden he can't play football. I don't know. But for me, I wouldn't start him tomorrow. Why bring Phillips in if he's not ready to go straight in? He is ready to go straight in. Phillips is ready to go straight in. He'll play in defence tomorrow. Who's saying he's not ready to go straight in? You seen him training yesterday. Maida's the gift for chicken. Headless chickens. He is that. Who went to Stoke on? Almost hit me at Aberdeen with that shot. It did. And when you look at the amount of shots that we had in the last couple of games, I put a comment on. I watched the training video of them at Lennoxtown, and it wasn't even the one-touch pass. It was just pass. The fast football that Brendan used to play the first time he was here. The fast passing, right, which we kind of lost towards the end. But that's the way that he wants the team to play. Never mind a couple of touches and then pass. It's like one touch pass. That's it. That's the way that Brendan wants us to play. I said on the Facebook, I think it was on Facebook that they posted it, I said, why can't they play like that? It was maybe YouTube. Why can't they play like that at the weekend? Why revert back to a way of playing that the manager obviously doesn't want them to? Anyway, the ref will watch the Hatchet Man. No talent, Lundstrom tomorrow because he's been assaulting the players for 2 seasons. Phillips will play. Yep. Japanese players have not been a total success. The only one has been Kyogo. The rest are disappointing, says Robert. I wouldn't say en masse, you could say disappointing. I think Hatate, when he gets in the mood, is a fantastic player, and he's going to go on to bigger and better things from Celtic. He will get his move at some point. Dyson, I think we've been playing him out of position. I think Ange purposely played him out of position just to give his team speed. He must have known that he played for Japan as a main striker. But yeah, Hatate, when he turns up, there's no stopping. You've got to remember, he scored an absolute cracker, Hatate, when he came in his first game against Rangers. So once we get him back fit, I mean, this is what we have to look at. The squad that we've got for tomorrow, that is the best team. Baz Brendan is keeping Phillips on the bench. Is he? Has he come out and said that? He's going to keep him on the bench. Don't tell me that we're going to go and play that game tomorrow with Phillips not starting. There's not a chance. I'd be very, very surprised at that. If we start the game tomorrow with Lager and with Gustav and Scales, we're going to get a roasting. We're going to get a roasting. Beale's mole looks bigger than stress mole. Phillips must start. I don't believe that. He's fit enough. He's had his pre-season. You know, there's no reason for him not to. You're not bringing a player into that standard and bringing him in to play him on the bench tomorrow. Not a chance when he's only here until January. He's only here to January. He's not here to fill spaces in months to come. Not a chance. Not a chance. He will play tomorrow. He will play. And this is my team. I'll say it again. Taylor, Hart and goals. Taylor, Phillips, Gustav and Alistair Johnson at the back. You've got then Kalmak sitting and then Paulo Bernardo sitting. On the wings, you've got Palma, Abada, O'Reilly just in front of them and Kyogo in front of him. That's what I think my team will be. Romo Lindsay, you can say about the Japanese back. Hatate has been great. The Celtic team are far more dynamic. Yes, they are. Phillips will definitely play. He's a natural centre back. No doubt Brendan knows. Look, he was at Liverpool when Brendan was there. Brendan knows all the good attributes about him. He played fantastic for Liverpool 2 seasons ago when he played 23 games on the trot when they were struggling for defenders. Do you think he'll come on later? How confident are you tomorrow, Baz? I'm going for 2-1. But there's a part of me says he's injured. He injured his knee in training. He did not. You're on the wind-up. Where are you reading this? Post the link to where you're reading it, because I'm not reading that anywhere. Nice to see that orange marches in Scotland are still a thing and still creating the usual mayhem. I'm so glad I stay in a country that doesn't have to deal with that nonsense. So glad that I stay in a Catholic country. And I feel sorry for everyone that has to deal with orange marches back in Scotland. Anyway, that's off topic. Right, 2-1 to Celtic tomorrow. Celtic look to bounce back tomorrow. They'll still be miserable from the PSV game. Do you think they'll bounce back? I don't think so. The criticism Brendan gets, but Moles has been there ages. I love the way that the media in Scotland says that this is Mole. This is the Mole just getting started, and he was there for the majority of last season. He was there for. I mean, when was it they sacked their manager last year? The fact that they sacked their manager, they got to a European Cup final, is just beyond belief for me. It is just beyond belief. I still think it's absolute. Your wee dog likes a wee cameo appearance. She does that. What are you? What are you doing? You trying to be on the telly? What is it? Right. It's only a couple of games been belted out everywhere before PSC leather them. Yep. Be a great game either way, says Billy. Fast attacking football. I think what's going to be good about tomorrow is there's not going to be a team that are going to sit back, because it just is it. It's embarrassing Scottish football when teams do that. It's not good for the game, and you can understand that teams don't want to get hammered, but let's face it, sitting back for 80 minutes, 85 minutes, to try and hope that you get a 0-0 and then make a game of it with 10 minutes to go. And we wonder why we don't get TV deals that are flipping worth any money. But that's just my bugbear about Scottish football. Pure buzzing for the game tomorrow. Hopefully Barra turns up, because he's been missing all season. Oh, it's the Fourth Estate blowing smoke up Bill's arse. Yep. I hope your dog's called Hoopy. No, it's not. I'm not telling you the name of the dog. Right, Rocco Vata, he scored today. Rocco Vata scored for the B team. I wonder what will happen with Rocco Vata. Let's get back to talking about the summer. No, we're not. We'll move on for the summer. Let's see what other Celtic news is kicking around this afternoon. People are talking about predicted lineups. Everyone's going to have their own say in the lineup. Sidney Van Hooijdonk, Celtic transfer, scratcher after Bologna block exit. Champions League headlines. Tell me your teams in the comments and tell me what your scoreline will be. Jamie Young, how you doing? They're saving up their hammer to hammer the Huns. Usually at the beginning of the season, we score quite a lot of goals. And we haven't done that yet. I think the home game against St. Johnstone was highly, highly disappointed. And I still go back to, you when you seen it on the TV, you seen Gavin Strachan on the bench with his head in his hands, saying, and he must have been thinking, what are the players doing? So to me, it says that the players weren't doing what the management was asking of them. So let's just hope. There's a rumour your dog's called Nacho. Nope, it's definitely not called Nacho. Sky will put more money into the Women's League down south than what we get. Yes, they will. And the quicker that there is an implosion in Sky and everything to do with English football. What's your other channel called? That's a secret. There's another channel that is going to be we're going to be watching games, because I don't want to watch. I'm going to do more watch along videos. I'll probably be at the pub watching the Celtic games, so it's hard to do the Celtic games ones. But I might do the Champions League watch along ones, and I've got another channel for that, so I will put that up in the community tab. So yeah, it's not got any videos on it as yet. It did have some on it because it was a channel that I had before, but I've took them all down. Keanu go back to being a penalty box. Yep, you can stick your allocation. Yeah. How do we feel about the allocations? I mean, I know the Green Brigade put up a banner saying they're ruining the derby, bring back the allocation. It's kind of like begging for tickets for me. I don't think that's what we should be doing. Do you have a channel with Stevie, Hoops in Tenerife? How do you do a channel with Stevie, Hoops in Tenerife? No idea. Didn't mean that. I thought I had a channel about Spain. Yes, I do, but I will not speak about that on this channel because there's too many zombies watch this, and I'll keep that separate. And I've never posted on it for a while. Anyway, I'm not talking about that on this channel. Kionago is going to be all over the box tomorrow. It's 2-2 tomorrow, and happy if we avoid defeat. I think it could be a comical game tomorrow. I think there's going to be a VAR decision that's going to be absolutely ridiculous, that is going to just set the media going in a frenzy. I think they will get a decision that will be absolutely ridiculous. I think they'll get a penalty that will look like a blatant dive. Baz is worth 10 million. Easy. I'm worth 10 million. I wish. I wish. I wish I was worth 10 quid. I wish it was worth 10 quid. Danger Mouse, no thanks, mate. Winning the title, put them into meltdown. I'm going for Celtic big time. Kyogo is going to be all over the box tomorrow. I hope so. Brendan just needs to bring in 3 players which are athletic, strong, and fast. That's why I think he'll go with Paulo and Blaz. Bless you, Blaz, my child. Thank you. Who's texting? Give me 2 seconds. Oh, wait a minute. I'll check that once I come off. Lorna, don't jinx it. What was Lorna was saying? Helen's going for 2-1 tomorrow. I bet Celtic fans go to the game just not wearing any zombie tops. Nope, I wouldn't say that. No Celtic fans going to sit in that ground. Not a chance. Let's put them to sleep and pray for silence. Yes. Seth Conian's 2 penalties. They will get away with murder tomorrow. I'll talk about that after the game tomorrow. I'm not want to jinx it. Let's put them to sleep and pray for the silence is bliss. I want to make sure if Celtic are 3-0 up with 75 minutes to go, they'll start leaving in their hordes. They'll absolutely annihilate that team, and they'll start leaving in their hordes. Novo, Tommy McLean. Animals, yep. Pressure will be on Rodgers right for the start if we don't get a result. Do you think the pressure will be on him if we don't get a result tomorrow? I don't think so. I hope he's not going to get any leeway, but we have to look at the circumstances. And Murray's going with Hart, Alistair Johnson, Phillips, Gustav, Taylor, Calmack, O'Reilly, Bernardo, Yang, Abago, Kyogo. Yep. That's the same as me. That's the team that I went for. It's in Dublin. Baz, Herd and Training, Golson, wearing a Celtic top. You're on the wind-up, John. There'll be 3 or 4 heavy dunks on Kyogo. Yes, there will be. And that needs to stop. The refs and the linesmen need to get on top of that. I mean, what happened to VAR? VAR was meant to be brought in to stop things like that. The Doug's name's list. Even Baz, good day. Golf today. Settled now with a few bottles of Miller. I would love a bottle of Miller. Not Miller for ages. For ages. I had Kev on the phone today. Speak to Kev on Monday. I phoned Kev today. And he'll show you. Ask him to see the video. I'll wind you up. Anyway, thanks, Baz. You're the mighty Emerald Retainer. Right, there's 239 people on this live. There's only 53 thumbs up. So get the thumbs up hit. And I've just noticed there's nobody with a spanner on, is there? Oh, there is. Tam Mac's still on. Tam, you still on? Not expecting him. What was the results today anyway? Let's see if we can get some. Lundstrom, Assault, and Kyogo. I think so. Right, just 2 seconds. Let's see. Results. What games are happening today? Kilmarnock got beat by Ross County. There. Away at Ross County. Livingston drew 1-1 with St Mirren. St Johnstone drew 2-2 with Dundee. No, that's not right. That is. Interesting. So what does that do to the league? Let me click on here. And loading. St Mirren are top of the league. St Mirren are top of the league with 8 points. Celtic are 7. Motherwell 7. The Rangers, formerly known as Rangers, we call them Sevco, are on 6 points. I still think it's mad that we're not sitting on 9 points. It's just crazy. It's nuts. Ross County are on 6 points, right behind Rangers. Dundee are on 5. Livingston are on 5. Hearts are in 8th position on 4. Kilmarnock are on 4. Aberdeen. It's crazy when you look at the teams at the bottom of the league just now. I mean, Hibs are on no points, sitting bottom of the table. That's absolutely madness. I mean, you've got 3 teams that you're thinking are top of the league stuff. You've got Hearts, Aberdeen, and Hibs all in the bottom 5. That's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. But it will make for a good season. It'll make for a good season. Because let's face it, St Mirren, they've had a great start to the season, but can they contain that? It's all about Celtic getting at least, I mean, if we get a point tomorrow, we'll go back top. But we really need a win. I mean, if they get a win, we go 2 points in front of us. It's nuts. It's nuts. Let's get some comments. Lorna, I hope there's no pressure on Brendan, but some fans already don't want him. I wonder how many of the fans that don't want him actually go to games. I wonder what that percentage is. I mean, I know that the Green Brigades generally don't want him, and that's a small section of the Green Brigade that don't want him. There's another 50,000 people that go to Celtic Park. I wonder what the percentage of that is. Baz, get in touch with me, please. I left you a comment thingy. Get in touch with me via Twitter, and then I'll get you my email or WhatsApp. But I did reply to that message on the video. So yeah, either get in touch with me through Twitter or the Facebook page, and then I'll give you my email or WhatsApp number. So we'll do that. Billy, there have been a few ups and downs this year, 100%. There will be a few ups and downs, especially when you look at the Scottish League. I mean, Kilmarnock, how they've managed to get 4 points, unbelievable. Aberdeen are only on 2 points. So tomorrow, Aberdeen play Hibs and Hearts play Motherwell. So there's not going to be, the only one that's really going to gain tomorrow is going to be Celtic or Rangers, because let's face it, if Hibs win, they get 3 points, they'll jump up 2 positions in the league. They'll go to 10th if they'll go to 10th. And then Hearts versus Motherwell. Motherwell are sitting in 3rd, so you're taking Motherwell to win that. Just going on current form. Sit Hearts though. But Hearts have been playing rubbish as well. It's crazy. It's crazy how the league's started off this season. I mean, when you look at it though, Celtic's form, due to injuries, their form's been absolutely. The Huns are revolting anyway. They are that. I'm going for Larson or Jinky. I have no idea what you're talking about. How can I find you on Twitter, mate? Right, give me 2 seconds. I'll see if we do this. Nope. That. 2 seconds and there. Twitter. Right, you get me on Twitter there. I should put a link on. Let's see, has the link worked? I have no idea. Yeah, there's a. Yeah, click on that link. That will take you to my Twitter. I'm never on Twitter much. It is one that I've had since about 2010. Scotland Shame will be crushed tomorrow. We've had a full week to get over the first draw at home. They've had 2 days to get over the hump. Yes, Yes, and we have had that week. And I've said this for years. When it He'll hear from Spain, David. When you look back to even under Ronnie Dyler, the best games, and I'm not being funny, and I'm not saying this just because I used to do it. The best fans are the fans that go to away games. And when we can take the hardcore fans that go to away games every week are the heart and soul with Celtic. These are guys that plough money in home and away. When you look at our bigger support, the bigger support at Celtic Park sit down and be quiet far too much. And Celtic Park's changed from 2020. I mean, my last game, well, I've been back since then, but my last game before, I can remember, it was March 2020, just before lockdown. And if anybody said to me that, I wouldn't get to see the rest of the season at Celtic, I would have thought nuts. But ever since then, since we went back to Celtic Park, it's just not been the same. The fans haven't been the same. Added you on Twitter, thank you. No worries on. And that's the disappointing thing. Celtic Park should be a fortress. Parkhead should be a fortress. Tickets are like gold dust, mate. They are. Away tickets now, they've ruined it. The clubs have ruined it. They're thinking that, Sevco ruined it. Sevco started it. And this is Rangers historically have always done things that have been for the benefit of them, but for the worst of the league. When they started bringing in players in the 90s that couldn't get a game in Europe because all the English teams were banned in Europe and they could compete just about wage-wise, but players wanted to play in Europe. So the Rangers then went out and spent above their means to get players. And the only reason that they got so many English players is because all the English players, all the English teams, the clubs were banned from playing in Europe. That's the only reason that they got all these players. And they changed the way that Scottish football was. They changed it. They'd never do anything for any good for the game. They never do anything for any good for the game. The fact that they changed the away allocation and then every other team starts to follow them outside Celtic. So then Celtic start doing it and we'll reduce your allocation too. It's absolute nonsense, man. Brendan Rodgers killed it at Snake Mountain, Hunskelping them. Yeah, it did. And I was there. It was some of the best games ever. I used to dread going to Ibrox before Brendan came along the first time. I used to dread it. Anyway, so Lurk was banned from Europe. Third player. Yep. Right. Sevco need to stop the meds and stop the paranoia. Who's going to Livy away? Says Aidan. Who's going to Europe? I've got my booked up. We got booked up today, this morning, which is good. Trying to get a ticket now for the away end will be the part that's hard. But it comes to the one in Spain, I'll be able to get a ticket for them. Anyway, the fact that Sevco exists in Scotland is why I can't have good things. Imagine, yeah. Celtic endorse a zombie fantasy. Get me started on that. Peter Lawwell should have kept his foot on the throat. All right, from the Paisley Republican. Enjoy that wee rant. I did. You always know that I'm going to have a rant on this channel. You always know I'm going to have a rant on this channel. So, do you know what I mean? So, anyway. Lorna, what are you doing for tickets for Madrid? Home and away end. You'll be lucky to get away end tickets. More chance of getting ones. But the tickets for the Madrid game won't come out until I don't think we even set foot in Ibrox ever again. I'll never go back to there. And I know mates of mine that have followed Celtic since the 80s. And went to every Glasgow derby since the 80s, and they'll never go back for what they've done. Anyway, hail Baz. We all have a good rant. That's true. Palmer hat-trick tomorrow, free kick, penalty, and a 30-yarder. He's an incredible player. Yeah, I seen a story about him, about his ex-manager. And said he's an absolutely some player. Include 8 locally trained players. That's not it. Sorry. Where did I see it? Outside the club. Forget it, I'll do it in another video. My throat is absolutely killing me today. Right, there's not too much kicking about. We've been on for 40 minutes. I said I was going to be on for half an hour. Jesus. Anyway, Tarmac. One shot. Paddy. I thought it. DJ Singy. Went to one game at Ibrox. Still on. Yep. Palmer's shot or wicked. They are that, and I think that's why you'll play tomorrow. And I think, is Bernardo fit? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I don't think there's been any players. Who's your starting lineup for tomorrow? Says Martin. I did say it at the beginning. I had it. Actually, there's the squad depth, right? That's an interesting one. Looking at the size of the squad that we've got, right? We'll talk about the team in a minute. The squad, this is the squad that we now have. Goalkeepers, Joe Hart, Benji Siegrist, Scott Bain. Centre-backs, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Rocky, Gustav, Nat Phillips, Stephen Welsh, Kobayashi, Liam Scales. Plenty of cover in defence for Baz. Centre midfield players, we have Callum McGregor, Awata, McGregor, Awata, Kwon, Odin, and James McCarthy. How he never got sold, I'll never understand. Attacking mids, Rio Hatate, Matt O'Reilly, David Turnbull, Paolo Bernardo. Forwards, Kyogo, O, and Rocco Vata. Seems to be a thing that Rocco Vata might be coming into the first team. Left backs, Greg Taylor and Bernabe. A lot of people are disappointed the fact that we didn't get a left back. Left wingers, Palmer, Dyson, Yang, and Mikey Johnson. I think Mikey Johnson, this will probably be his last season at Celtic. I can't see him being able to get into this first team at all. He's not going to get in before Yang. You know, Palmer's came into the team. That will probably knock out Dyson. Yang's there as well. Got an abundance of players. Right wingers, we've got Abada, James Forrest, and Marco. Marco's still never kicked a ball for Celtic. It's going to be interesting to see how good he is, and if he'll keep James Forrest out of the team. And then that's that. That's when you look at the size of that squad. So my team was going to be Joe Hart and Alistair Johnston, Gustav Phillips, and then Greg Taylor. Midfield, you're going to have Callum McGregor, and I think you'll also have Paolo Bernardo in the midfield. I'm not sure who else. I don't know if Ohm will probably get in the midfield. And then on the wing, you're going to have Palmer on the one wing, and you're going to have Abada on the other, with Kyogo up front. So that's what I think. Capo Kalmark, no been on it. I think Kalmark hasn't because nobody wanted him. Celtic should have done the deal that they did with players before and just bought off the end of his contract. Come to an agreement with him to get him off the wage bill. Turnbull will go back into the subs now. Yes, he will. Let's hope a bit of fight and aggression for tomorrow. I don't think it's a bit of fight and aggression. I think it's more speed. And I think that's what's going to worry them tomorrow when they see how quick that we are. You'll probably get them doubling up on the wingers. You definitely get them doubling up on the wingers. Does Palmer swap wings ever? Yes, he does. He does. And he can play through the middle also, which is interesting. They died in 2012. They did so. Put Turnbull on the women's team. Flood the midfield, play 5 at the back. And not a chance. That's not a Celtic way of playing. Play 5 at the back. When have you ever seen a Celtic team play 5 at the back? Anyway, right. Going to have another minute of this because there are only 254 online. I did say at the beginning of the video, I'm going to be doing more watch-along videos for the Champions League and Europa this season. I won't be doing them on this channel, though. There is going to be a Baz Football watch-along channel. So look out for that. Purely, I can't do it on this channel because this channel is all about Celtic. And this is just going to be me and you watching other European football games. If you're into that kind of thing. If you're not, doesn't matter. Because there's things changing where we are. So I've got a bit of time on my hand to watch some more football. Do we still use parts of Hamilton? Yes, we do. Beale leaves his wings and fullbacks and then he floods the centre. Yeah, he does. Celtic have to get stuck into these nuggets tomorrow. Right, that is it. The hell, I've got hair in my mouth. Channel's getting better all the time. Thanks for that, Fast Tank. I've got a few things up my sleeve to improve it. Like I said, I do want to start a different channel that's going to do the more watch-along stuff because this channel is just going to be all about Celtic. I'm not going to be talking about other teams on another one. We're going to be doing watch-along stuff. So it's something that I fancy trying. After doing the one for Celtic at the pre-season. And to be honest, go to my channel. I'm your go-to channel. Thank you for that. Right, I'll give you some breaking Celtic news. There is none. Everyone's just talking about. People are now talking about Brendan Rodgers and the story created outside the club. And Brendan Rodgers saying, "Look, no one in the club said that we were going to buy 10 to 15 million pound players. It was something that was fabricated in the media, and it was probably helped along by the ex-manager who said that he wanted to buy 15 to 20 million players. Probably the reason why he left." Anyway, enough of that. That's enough for today. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure that you give it a thumbs up. There are 109 thumbs up. There's 242 still on the video. I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning before I get ready to go down to the pub. Hail, hail, says Tam Mac. That is unexpecting it. Come on, the hoops for tomorrow. John, ask Kev, John, on Monday. Let him see that video just for the wind up. Because, yeah, it's nice. Right. Hunskelp mode is now on. What time tomorrow? I might just go live tomorrow morning. So it will be roughly about the back of 9 Celtic part. And I may be a bit early because I need to get down to the pub early or I'll not get a seat. Look out for the channel tomorrow morning for the video. If a normal video goes up, if it's not a normal video, it will be a live. Sometimes easier just to do the live. Cheers for that, Billy. Cheers, Colin. Cheers, Fast Tank. Celtic FC, never walk alone. See you, Sinn Féin. Hope Joe Hart plays a blinder tomorrow. So do I. Surprisingly calm today. Usually full of anxiety. I'm a bit like that as well. And I used to have this thing when I went on to games on the bus. And it either would go one or two ways, and I would have these really bad cramps in my stomach, and that generally meant a good thing. But if it was raining when we got to Glasgow, we were getting beat. So let's just hope there's no raining in Glasgow tomorrow. Let's hope the sun is shining, because the sun always shines on the good and great of Scottish football. And over the last 20 years, that has been